So, let's continue with our Speaking Nicely program, part of a short history of the way we say. And here in part 2, we'll look again at what's involved with speaking nicely. Remember that the acronym is NICE: Negotiate, Inform, Consult, and Explain. We looked at Inform and Explain in our last program, so now we need to deal with Negotiate and Consult. Negotiating is the most difficult aspect of verbal communication. This is mainly because when we are negotiating, neither party really knows where or when the negotiation will finish. Even the Latin origin of the infinitive to negotiate suggests difficulty. Nec otium literally translates as not easy. Negotiating is the practice of trying to find a mutual agreement between the parties by the exchange of information. Both parties are senders and receivers, putting input into a vague pool of knowledge and taking feedback from it, until hopefully a mutual agreement can be found between them. It's risky to go into any negotiation without preparation. You should at least plan your limit lines. That is to say, what you will definitely not accept as an outcome. A key issue in negotiating is to keep calm and concentrate on the understanding you are forming. Try to make it a conversation rather than an argument, and spend at least as much time listening as you do speaking. But for something to be thought of as a negotiation and not simply a conversation, there must be consequences dependent on the outcome. Whenever a decision carries consequences, it is important to remember that a no can more easily be turned into a yes than a yes can be turned into a no. Only agree when you mean it. A negotiation should always be somewhat defensive. Any agreement can be lost. There is a more detailed look at competitive negotiations elsewhere in our channel. Look for the acronym OPEC. It is sometimes possible to talk your way right through a negotiated agreement and out of the other side. Don't push for more than you require. When you have a mutual agreement with which both sides are happy, close the negotiation. Remember that the outcome of a negotiation is a mutual agreement. It's not an agreement on your terms only. Be prepared to concede some ground. When negotiating, you must be prepared to give and receive feedback. Don't let a negotiation become a one-way information session from either side. However, a negotiation can start as a consultation. Consulting is essentially the process of getting information from another person that will give a clearer understanding to a given situation, and use that understanding for some useful purpose, either to the benefit of the person being consulted, or to their organization, or to some entirely different circumstance. The consultant essentially asks questions to which the subject must respond so that the consultant can build an understanding of what is in the situation. Consulting means that someone in the exchange, let's say it's you, must be in the role of consultant. Ideally, the other parties involved will accept you as the consultant. Consulting benefits from role recognition. Consulting usually opens with the consultant winning permission to ask questions by explaining the purpose. People may need to understand who will benefit from participating and who will benefit from the consultant's conclusions. The consultant's questions should be prepared in advance and should be delivered conversationally. Try to avoid making it feel like an interrogation. The information you are seeking should be important. Make sure you are listening actively and can maintain a positive atmosphere. If appropriate, take notes. When you have the information required to form an accurate and useful understanding, close the consultation. You should also have prepared a closing for the consultation. How, if at all, will your subject be involved in future? Will you understand your findings immediately, or will you need time to prepare your conclusions? Even when done informally, consulting should always have some structure and formality, so that the investigative part can be completed as quickly and as efficiently as practical. When you have all the information you need, you should ask the subject if they have any questions. If no questions are asked, thank the subject for their help and formally close the consultation. You might continue chatting, but you must make it clear that the consultation phase is now over. To carry on consulting when the other party does not know that this is your intention is a betrayal of trust. So that concludes our brief program about speaking nicely. Remember, the acronym was NICE. Negotiate, inform, consult, and explain. But let's just reorder these methods to look at something else. The degree of difficulty, or the time allocated for each type of communication. If we say that informing is worth 1 time unit, then explanation will probably take 3 times as long, because it will be 3 times as difficult. Consultation will need 5 time units, because the other party must be given opportunity to respond. And to negotiate, well, we'll need 10 units at least. Don't spoil your communication with poor preparation. Make sure you have the time you need and that you have assessed the degree of difficulty. But remember the acronym NICE. Negotiate, inform, consult, and explain. And don't forget to look for OPEC if you are still interested in our communications topics. Click on like if you have liked it, and subscribe if you want to keep up with the Muscombe History Group. So it's goodbye for now, and hopefully we'll see you all again. Goodbye. Thank you.